Good morning and welcome to BeForLink TV, your daily dose of industry information. This morning I'm joined by Scott Dimmock from Ascent Consultancy and Training to talk about dangerous goods. So firstly, Scott, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now today we're focusing specifically on the safe movement of sodium and lithium batteries. Can you firstly tell us what sodium-ion batteries actually are and how they impact BeFor members?
So sodium-ion batteries are, you could think of them as the new kids on the block when it comes to batteries. As they say on the tin, it's just swapping the lithium out with sodium.
Okay.
And sodium, the advantage of that is it's far more abundant than lithium, and therefore it's cheaper to mine and cheaper to source. And so there's a huge commercial incentive for manufacturers to be adopting these sorts of batteries.
Sure.
So to incorporate this likely increase in popularity in the dangerous goods regulations, they've now introduced UN numbers specifically for sodium-ion batteries. At the moment, the sodium-ion batteries that we see out there are larger, much larger batteries. That's because the energy to weight ratio of these batteries is not as advantageous as lithium. So where we find them now is in fixed installations in buildings for energy storage. But as time goes on, particularly if they do prove to be more cheap and also safe than lithium, they're going to find their way into many consumer electronics, such as mobile phones and laptops. And at this point, I think your members are going to really start encountering them more and more and more. So they have to prepare for how they're going to use the dangerous goods regulations to send these batteries on behalf of their clients. And the benefit is, or actually the positive is, that if they ship lithium-ion batteries on behalf of their clients, the provisions are very similar for these sorts of batteries. And they're even tested in the same way as lithium batteries to make sure they're safe for transport. So although they're a new dangerous good in some ways, there will be familiarity from your members as to how to send them.
Sure. So in terms of lithium batteries, what's changed recently with regards to these requirements?
So lithium batteries, there's a number of changes coming through, and I think there's two real impactful things that are worth briefly mentioning to your members. The first one, I would say, is the new dedicated UN numbers for lithium battery powered vehicles.
Right, okay, yeah.
So previously, if you had a lithium battery powered vehicle, it would be declared under UN 3171 battery powered vehicles, which is a more all-encompassing UN number. And it would be any battery powered vehicle, whether it be lithium or otherwise. Now, because of the enormous amount of lithium battery powered vehicles, they have their own UN numbers, which they have to be declared under. The thing to think about with this is there is a grace period, but your members need to be aware that when their customers are making these declarations for lithium battery powered vehicles, they need to use these new UN numbers after that grace period has expired. And it's different, that grace period, depending on the mode of transport that's being used. Air has a shorter grace period than, say, for sea. And the other thing just to briefly mention is that when we're talking about vehicles in the dangerous goods regulations, it's not just your EVs such as your Teslas, etc. It's also wheelchairs and scooters and things like that. So it's quite a big change for some of your members that often ship these things on behalf of their clients. So it's something to be aware of, so they can help their clients be compliant when these grace periods have expired. And the second change I think is worth mentioning is for lithium-ion batteries by air. Now, previously, lithium-ion batteries by air, when they're shipped with and in equipment, they wouldn't have to be, the shippers, the distributors, the manufacturers, they wouldn't have to be worried about the state of charge of that battery.
Right.
Now, they do have to be worried. They have to make sure that battery doesn't have more than 30% charge in it when it's sent with or in the equipment that's designed to power. So if you think about that, and you're a manufacturer or distributor, and you send your product out and it has a battery in it or with it, you now have to have another check and balance in your process to make sure that you're compliant with this state of charge. Now, I know a number of shippers that are well ahead of the game. They've been planning for this, but I've also talked to some distributors of these sorts of products. It's going to be a big headache for them. And for your members, again, it's important that they know of this change so that they can help their clients and customers ensure that they are compliant with this. Because I know from my forwarding days that our clients would ask us for advice almost every single day. So I think that it's a really important thing for your members to know this, so that again they can help their clients make sure that these changes are adopted.
That's fantastic, Scott. Thank you very much for joining us and for sharing your very useful information in that.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
If you'd like any further advice on this topic, we'll provide Scott's contact details in the description below. That's all for today's episode of BeeForLink TV, your daily dose of industry information.